I kind of see it this way, that God has a secretly encoded message that he has embedded within you. That while he was forming you and fashioning you, he also kind of threw in some messages and coding there about what he wants to do with you. You know what I've learned is there are things that we are pursuing and asking God for. And it always feels like God answers the prayer, but not with the answer that we can recognize as an answer to that prayer. Few weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, I did a teaching for you guys, and I talked about how God answers prayer. And I said, here's how God answers prayer. God will give you a seed. You'll be saying, Lord, I need the money to do such and such. And God will give you a seed. And you're like, this ain't what I asked for. Yes, it is, because this is how God is. God says, God's way of doing things is Bible says, he gives seed to the sower. And if the sower will sow the seed, then you'll be able to reap more than what you sowed, because that's the principle that he put in place. So often God gives the seed, whether it's a seed in a financial form, a little bit of money, or in an idea. Sometimes it's just an instruction. He'll just drop a thought on you, like what I'm teaching now. Just do what I've already told you to do. You know that area where you keep cutting short and you won't clean it all up, you only do a little bit, or you only do the part that everybody can see, add to your faith virtue. Start doing right because it is right. Start covering all those areas that nobody can see. And you'll be like, what this got to do with what I asked for? And from God's standpoint, this has everything to do with what you asked for. Because if I just simply give you what you asked for and you haven't added to your faith moral excellence, you are going to squander what I gave you. You're not going to do right with what I gave you. Isn't that something to know that about God? Because remember, he's wise. And just like for all of us, all the parents in the room, there are certain things your children will ask for, and if you know they can't handle this, no matter how much they beg you, it's like, no, I can't. There are certain things that we as parents want to do for our children, but we cannot because of their maturity level. As they mature, and also as they even prove themselves that I can trust you. Once you prove that I can trust you, then I'll give it to you. All the parents are smiling big time in the room now. I must be stepping all up into everything today. That's really how it works. So all the young people in the room, that's the same way you feel with your parents. That's how it is for us as your parents as we're dealing with God. I know it feels like my parents getting away with murder sometimes. How come they can tell me stuff and then they don't do it? But what happens in our case is God gets us. God gets us. There are certain promotions and things that we were expecting, but when we don't handle things right, we don't get away with it. Just like you don't get away with it, we don't get away with it. And actually for us as parents, it's far worse than the punishment that we'll give you, young people. The punishment that we receive, that are the things that God may allow to happen to us, can mean stuff like losing a day's pay, getting docked, some repair or unexpected thing happens that now we got to put the money on this and we weren't ready for this. All kinds of stuff happens in our world that you're totally unaware of when we disobey, when we don't apply moral excellence, when we don't do what's right because it is right.